Today we're going to be finding out the truth about candle patterns, so let's get straight to it. Hey traders, I hope you're going extremely well. My name is David and welcome to my channel where I go through trading strategies that I find on YouTube and on the web, and then I use code to debunk the bad ones and find the good ones. Today we're going to be looking into the wonderful world of candlestick patterns and trying to dig out the truth of whether they really are profitable or not. I'm going to be adding extra confluence to try and find a good trading strategy, or at least just provide the tools so that you can test your trading strategies back at home. Okay, let's get over to the computer. Let's have a look at some of these patterns together. Okay, here I am back on my screen as always. Now, candle patterns are quite hard to backtest because there is absolutely tons of the things. There are so many candle patterns out there and new ones being made quite often. It also depends on the eye of the beholder, if you will, whether they consider the candle pattern to be valid or not. I personally have been trading a single candle pattern for quite a while now in my manual trading strategy, which was inspired by Kite Crypto. This trading strategy is the ABC strategy, which we're literally making lower lows and looking for a reversal. My entry would have been around this area here as we break above this A line. I haven't been manually trading this one for a little bit because now I've become pretty much a full-time bot trader, but this is the only trading strategy that I use. Now, to confirm my entry, I always look for a hammer pattern, which could look like this candle just here, where the tail is, or the shadow is much bigger than the actual body itself, which could potentially say that there is a reversal on its way. Now, a lot of people would prefer a candle maybe like this with a much smaller body, but I would have taken this entry just here, and as you can see, it would have been quite a good entry. Now, obviously, this is cherry picking as always. I'm just trying to explain how things are entered. So I would have entered at the A point as we come across, back across afterwards. Then this was confirmed by this candle pattern. Now, obviously, as a bearish situation, we'd be looking for a shooting star, very much like this pattern here, which indicates a reversal after an uptrend because there is much more momentum pushing that price back down in that single candle. There's absolutely tons of candles patterns out there, whether you're looking for engulfing patterns where the candle completely engulfs the previous candle. I have put a small cheat sheet together here. You can find that cheat sheet with the links down in the description below. So you've got quite a few candle patterns in here. It isn't all of them, but there's quite a few of them that you'll be able to download and add to your, just as kind of a cheat sheet so you can find them quite easy. But personally, I much prefer indicators and strategies, and I only ever trade a trading strategy that I can backtest fully. So I started building something called OptiBot a long time ago to be able to backtest all of this. It never really got very far, and then one day I come across this indicator here, which allows us to backtest trading indicators all in one row, looking for their best possible R&R. So if I add it to the chart here, we have an absolutely fantastic indicator. Now, this one is by Mukoshi. I hope I said that right. You can find it on TradingView by looking for all candlestick patterns on Backtest. And as you can see, it gives a backtest, and let me make this a little bit smaller on the number of indicators here. You'll be able to see the headers of the charts that way. Let me take a couple off here. So as you can see, this trading strategy goes through a humongous list of bearish and bullish candle patterns, as you can see here. Then it will give you the return on investment using the R2R. So if you're looking to set the stop loss at the bottom of that trading candle pattern, you can set the stop loss at there and then use the R2R of 1-to-1. As you can see, as it goes into the green, it makes the strategy more profitable. On its own, this indicator is absolutely brilliant, but it wasn't adapted to what I really wanted. I wanted to be able to add an EMA or a Bollinger Band or some Keltner channels to see if mixing them in with some candles or a reversal pattern or something like that would be more profitable. So I went on and looked at the code and tried to build something that was more adapted. So this is what I've been building. As you can see over here, it uses the same sort of table style, etc. I've used snippets of the code, so a huge amount of thanks to Mukoshi Like I said, I hope I pronounced that correctly. I took a lot of the code and just tried to make it better for what I actually needed. So the first thing that I did was when I was on this one here, I looked at some of these patterns and they looked extremely profitable. And if you go through and set some of the settings up, so when you look at some of these patterns, they look extremely, very profitable indeed. But for example, here, this Marabouzel candle pattern on 10x leverage, you could be doing a one-on-one and you would have 151% profit, going all the way up to 261 profit. This is on the 5-minute time frame, and this is a candle pattern that we've been talking a lot about in the Discord with David Tech. But there's a big problem. There are no fees. So this is the first thing that I set out to do, was to add fees to this trading strategy, to this backtester, so that we can really test it. No trading exchange or broker will do their job for free, especially in crypto. You certainly need to add fees to not pull wool over your eyes as you go along and think that something is more profitable than it is. So I added trading fees here. So I've got 0.05, which corresponds to the trading fees that I pay in Bybit. If you're looking for Bybit, there is a link down in the description. That's enough plug-in. Keep going. So 0.05 is what I pay on to my broker, and as you can see, it's making the things look a lot less profitable. But it's not completely negative. There are some profitable setups as we go along over here. As you can see, I'm still on the same settings here, but some of these candles have become extremely less profitable. So this certainly isn't complaining about the first script, it's just adapting it better for what I actually personally want. Now, another thing that I'd like to do is add to this trading backtester some way of detecting trends or adding indicators so that I can test my own trading strategy. Like I said earlier, what happens if I wanted to use a Keltner channel to detect trend, and then as we break above that upper channel, we actually take an entry only if we find those candles at that point. So I continued working on the script over here and added some even more features. So if I go all the way down to the bottom here, you can see that you can add Confluence Indicators. So when I go over to my chart, I've actually added the Keltner channel. To do that, you literally go over to Indicators and write Keltner channel here. Now, the Keltner channel is very well known in the algo trading world, was made extremely popular by the turtle traders, and is something that I use for a long time in one of my trading strategies. Not currently, but it is one that I've used. So if I go back over to the advanced Candlestick Patterns backtester, and we scroll all the way down here, we can see that we can add our Confluence. Now, because I have the Keltner channel on my charts, I can go over to this indicator here, and we can use the upper Keltner channel as Confluence. And then in the second one, we're going to use the lower, because obviously we're going to be using lower for shorts, upper for longs. And then we're going to build our own little algorithm using this. So when the high of the candle, so you can choose high here, is above the first indicator is equal to the Keltner channel because we selected it up there. We take a long because they're green candles here. Now, if the candle has broken, the low has broken below the second one being the lower Keltner channel, we take an entry. So we're taking entries only now thanks to that, which allows us to backtest much better our trading strategy. So we're going to let it load here. Okay, that's loaded. So I hope now you'll be able to see. Let me move myself over a little bit over here. Move myself to the other side over here. So now you can see on the table, we're starting to get a little bit more profitable on some of these R&Rs. And R&R from 1 to 2 is giving us 58% on this candle. A lot of candles are still quite bearish. Also, this kind of thing allows us to add even more indicators, like maybe an EMA, a 200 EMA, to detect better the bigger trend. So if I go back over to the indicators over here, we go over, we can actually add up to 3 indicators. Recently in my Discord, the FVMA has become rather popular again. I'm going to take that to 100 here, the MA length, to give us the overall trend. That's going to give us a bit of an overall trend, so that we're only looking for shorts when we're below the FVMA and only longs when we're above. If I go over and test the backtesting here again, we can use the FVMA by simply activating it here. Going to the FVMA as the first indicator, as the second one here, as the second set. Now I have to find the FVMA just in there because it's on our charts, so it will be there. That's that white line. And then we're going to look for for our close to be above our first indicator, or our close to be below our first indicator. Now that will be activated, and we're going to leave that to backtest, and we'll see if that makes any better result. Okay, as you can see, it hasn't changed a lot, the results. We've got 153% over here for our best winner, but it allows us to backtest, and we can go up all the way to 6. We can set as many risk to rewards as we'd like to backtest, up to 7 values, and you can change those values pretty simply just by adding the R&R here. So it's a great way of backtesting all of these candle patterns. I think I will even use this as another script that I'm building as well to test things like super trends and things like that. It is a really very good way of doing that. Okay, so that's made it considerably better, but there was one last thing that I would like to add, and that is be able to add my own stop loss. Maybe use an ATR or something else that would help us to set better a stop loss. Currently, it works at the bottom of that candle pattern, so if you're using just a simple engulfing pattern, you'll be able to set it at the bottom of that candle pattern, and then you'd set your R2R as a multiplier of the size of that candle. Personally, I'd like to be able to use a ATR or something like that in my backtester so that I can test on an R2R using that. If you've got a couple of minutes and you don't mind giving a good old thumbs up to this video, and don't forget to subscribe. I do videos every Monday and every Friday. If you also put me a comment down in the description below, I will also convert this into a strategy so it can be traded on bots. Back over to my screen. So I went back over, and as you can see, if you go back to the top up here, you can use an external stop loss. So I've used the ATR bands that we're very used to here on the Daily Tech channel. I use these often. They're by Alexander T. I did actually make a little bit of an edit to this one. If you want to find the edited version, you can find them on my website. So we're going to be setting our stop loss if we're looking for a long at the bottom here, our stop loss, and then we're just going to use an R2R. For instance, if we got in here, we'd set our stop loss just here like this. And then we would set an R2R of 2 like this. There's the risk to reward ratio just there in there for you. And we'd be setting our risk to reward just like that. This one would have been a win, but it's not even a candle pattern, so it makes no difference. Anyway, okay, so if you go back over to the advanced backtesting here. Okay, so if I select up here, as I said, the external SL, we're going to go over and we're going to click our lower band for our long position. So that would set our stop loss to here. And then we're going to set our short to the short upper band, which would set our stop losses up here. Okay, perfect. So now that would backtest that instead of just the candle patterns, and hopefully it'll make them more profitable. Might not. It might be that we would have to find something else for a stop loss. So as you can see, that has made this candle pattern, which we've been focusing on, a little bit more profitable. It made it 10% more profitable than what it was. There was one last thing that I hope you'll be able to see on YouTube that I've added. But it's some really wonderful stats that weren't there before. As you mouse over, you'll be able to see the max wins in a row, the max losses in a row. You'll be able to see the accumulated P&L. You'll be able to see your equity. The max drawdown, you have to, if you're using leverage, you have to obviously multiply that by leverage. The profit factor, the average wins and losses in percentage. You're going to look at, you'll be able to see your win rate, number of wins and number of losses. All of that wonderful information helps you to see whether or not it would be a trading strategy that you'd be able to trade. Now, as I said earlier, if you would like me to turn this into a strategy so you can connect it to bots and leave it to run on bots after you've found the great setups, drop me a comment down in the description below. Just a simple yes, and I will start building it. If we get enough people interested, I will turn it into a strategy. Okay guys, you'll be able to find the link to this in the description below. You can add all of my trading strategies through Patreon. Thank you very much for all the support that you've been giving me in the past couple of months. It's been absolutely wonderful. Love the wonderful comments and things like that. I look forward to seeing you again on Monday. Take care, keep safe, trade like a boss, and I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye guys.